Hello and welcome to East of Ethnia. Today I want to talk about a news story that is a little bit unusual coming from Serbia. It's a story that was breaking early this morning. It is still ongoing, and it involves the university, the Faculty of Philosophy of the university in Novi Sad. Now, in the university in Novi Sad, there is an attempt on the part of the administration controlling the university, which is close to the ruling party and the regime, to engineer elections for the student parliament, the representative body of students in the university, with only one group, the supporters of the administration, represented in this contest. As a result, a group of students called STAV, Students Against Totalitarian Rule, has been protesting, trying to block the entrance of the rectorate, trying to prevent what they're saying is a fraudulent election from taking place that would produce a body that is not representative. So here is what we know, or what we think we know. Around 5:36 this morning, behind the university, in a hiding place, were a group of people, and these are not police. It was some kind of private security, if we can use that word. People dressed in black with masks, with black hats, and so on. Who were encountered by a student. I'll put a link to you in the comments to this video, of the video of the student with her dog finding these people. At the point at which she finds them, they throw an explosive device which explodes. Two students were injured and are in the hospital. And you have this ongoing tension going on throughout the day, in which they're trying to hold this sort of sham election for the student parliament inside the building of the rectorate. There are students protesting in front, and the thugs who set off the explosive device are operating security, controlling who can be let in or not let into the building of the rectorate. So in the context of this, a couple of things we want to point out. First of all, at least according to the official announcement, this group of armed people, they're not police. This group of people have kicked the police out from the place too, and they're there to provide security for a conference on cybersecurity about which nobody knows anything. There is no program for this conference available. There is no announcement of the Congress. So there's a fake conference there that's being used to prevent or control access to the voting for the election to the student parliament. And as to who these thugs are who are controlling access, we don't know who they are. There is a story out there from one local politician, a representative in the provincial government, saying that the head of the group of thugs is a high-ranking official in the provincial government, but I can't say more about this. This isn't confirmed, so we don't know whether this is the case. The real question here, though, is why are they bothering? I mean, why try to put on a fraudulent election for a student parliament at the university, and why use force in doing it? Is it such a priority? Because you think about it, objectively, control of the student parliament at University of Novi Sad is not essential to the continued control of the regime. If they were to lose control, they would do just fine, as they've lost control over student politics at a number of universities, although there has been a concerted effort to establish and reinforce control over other universities in the country. And we've seen this in the universities in Belgrade and in Niš and so on. But generally speaking, even in authoritarian environments, these sorts of islands of resistance, islands that are represented by independent media, the universities, districts, usually urban districts, but not always, where opposition parties are in power. These are tolerated. They constitute a kind of release valve. But in this case, I think we've got something special, because we can talk about an authoritarian regime, but but I think we have to explain this in terms of the type of government that exists in Serbia. It is not typical authoritarian government in the sense that it is not ideological. I mean, it relies in the bottom on this extreme right ideology that justified its the party in power and the predecessor to this party in power and the party that brought this party into power in the 1990s and so on. But basically, it's not about ideas. These people don't have any ideas other than their own self-preservation. What they've got is a network of trust, of favor, and exchange that controls the distribution of social privileges and social benefits. And it's this sort of informal network that exercises and maintains control. And the thing about networks of this type is that they depend on control. The control has to be unbroken. So if you need something done in your community, you don't want to rely on the official agencies. You want people relying on the network. If you are looking for access to education, employment, medical care, the regime does not want people relying on official procedures for this. They want them relying on the network. Okay, so the network, in order to maintain itself, has to continually strengthen itself. And then let's talk about the students, because some number of students are protesting, but there is another number of students that is participating in this takeover of the student parliament. Why are they doing it? Why do the students go for this deal when they're in an institution that's autonomous and that gives them the opportunity to express themselves if they choose to do so? The short answer is that they are aware that they need jobs. And this is, I think, the dilemma that's behind these networks of informal control that stand behind regimes of this type, is that every compromise that is made with the informal network of control consolidates the power of the network of control over the lives of the people who are living in the conditions of the regime. So if the students are going to go along, the group of students who are doing so, with the groups in power in order to secure a position for themselves, because they're going to need employment, housing, other things in the future. This consolidates the power of the network, and it keeps the system going. This sort of system is very difficult to break. It's difficult to break through rhetorics that are based on ideas, because it's not really a system that's founded on ideas. It's a system that can adapt to any idea that is used to oppose it. So this is, I think, the answer to this mysterious question of why they are bothering to use this kind of masked violence in order to control a relatively minor and insignificant institution like a student parliament. It's because the complexity of the network of informal control and its dependence on continued consolidation and affirmation means that violence is going to appear in unexpected places when the level of control is threatened. So this is, I think, the story, and this is the reason why I think you have a standard answer to the question of why people tend to go along with things that they disagree with, because the choice to do this is structured by the other choices that they need to make in order to be able to live their lives, and that's what life is like in a network state with existing under systems of informal control. Thank you for your time and patience, and I'm happy to have given you a little bit of contemporary Southeast European political sociology.